mean, the interesting thing about your sound, more than anything else to me, is you seem to have such a unique kind of vocal take. You know, you're not afraid to try different things. You're not afraid to kind of find yourself sitting in different pockets here and there over the sort of instrumentals we're hearing. Like, again, how long have you been so, like, have you always been this kind of comfortable working in your own zones?
No, like, for the people who know me, like, I dropped some series of mixtapes, like, with SB and Link Up in, like, 2014 called Jackavelli 1 and 2, and that was just, like, that was, like, an experiment for the people to hear of the vibe that I'm coming with and the kind of tunes that I'm kind of dropped with and what I've been working on in the little break I had, like a 2-year break I had, and it went down well. So it was just a thing where I've been personally, like, training my voice myself. I've had no one to tell me this or that. I've been, like, literally doing it myself and just growing it, evolving it, you know, to a point where I feel like now it's just, I come in the studio, it's either I hear the tone. Obviously, I've been reading and writing music, so I can hit the keys straight away. So it's just little things what I add on to my craft, but make it different, make it a little unique. So I can hit certain tones in the song, what I can hear as my voice as an instrument. So you'll hear behind, you won't even notice it, but you should hear the harmonies and behind, especially like in One Day, you will hear it in the background, but it's just going with the music. So it's different.
Definitely, man. No, I think that's it's quite an undersung ability, I feel, to use a voice as an instrument, because at the end of the day, a vocal tone is an instrument the same as anything else in a composition. So it's good that you've kind of got that within the arsenal, like to be like, it's very, very solidified within the arsenal of what you can use. So okay, kind of moving forward then. Obviously, 2020 has been a bit of a weird year for a lot of different reasons. So kind of with that, how have you found this year to be in regards to making music? Have you still been able to get the inspiration together?
Yeah, like do you know what? Because a lot of my homegirls ask me the same thing all the time, but like I feel like I could never. It's not even a thing of, you know, when Chip says run out of bars. I don't see that as an artist. If you're a really creative person, I feel like you just breathing, just existing on this earth. You should be able to come up with something. You know what I mean? Something should be able to come up, and you should continuously, if this is your art or your craft, like you don't hear a painter or a stylist saying, no, I'm inspired. Like, they'll find inspiration in what they do. You know what I mean? So as an artist, that's why I always break down artists and creatives, because people will struggle and you ain't seen them. But me, I've been in the studio, I've been working, been putting in my work.
Wicked, man. I mean, that's good to hear, because obviously doing this show every day, I speak to a lot of different artists from, as I said, different backgrounds, and the interesting thing you tend to find is it's very much split 50-50 down the middle with that. A lot of the time you'll find artists are very much still just as inspired as ever. A lot of the time you're finding artists, I think more on the sort of production side of things, a lot of the time artists are finding it a little bit more difficult to kind of get those creative juices flowing, because they aren't in the dances, they aren't in the live environments in which a lot of the inspiration actually comes from.
I hear that, man. But like, for instance, I've been in the booth like today on my own. Like, most of my songs are recorded either on my own in my own studio, or I'm with Young G Money and my Slime Squad, and we're catching bounces off each other. But I don't feel like, no disrespect to them, I'll make a banger with or without them in the studio. You feel me? So yeah, man. I feel like artists, creatives, and that, you're hearing me, man. Keep the creative juices flying, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, on a personal level, it's definitely something I've tried to stay as active as I possibly can. Like, even when you're not feeling it, you know, there's certain times you do have to kind of push through. But obviously, it's different strokes for different folks, I feel. So kind of moving forward then, with this, obviously you mentioned there you've got a couple of fingers in pies in regards to the fashion side of things. Is that something you've always kind of ran with as well, or is that more of a recent development?
Do you know what? Like, it's always been a thing when I was growing up, like in my estate and that. Like, people used to always look at the way I dressed, whether it was like low-key H&M or design, whatever it was. But it's like, when I got into the music, I always had people, like from like, I'll say like 2014 when I come back with it, I had a lot of people onto me about that, like brands and that, but I didn't really know how to do it. So my boy Fire Sky, his Instagram name's crazy, but yeah, my boy Fire Chulo, ran me into the fashion kind of world, so showed me how to do set up branding contracts and putting in work to get, so when people admire what you're doing or what you're wearing, let them compliment it properly or give you something to put in videos, and it has become clockwork. So it become like Fashion Week VIP now, and Hamleys photo shoots and all these kind of things, where it was like I didn't really expect it to be another job. It was just something I did. But now it's like, yeah, I've seen a lot of change of the fashion, and it's good.
I was going to say, man, it sounds like you're rolling quite like a high end pretty much off the bat then.
Yeah. No, it's been good, man. It's been good still, because I've been on the front of London Runway magazine. Like, these things are all unexpected things what's happened due to it. But it's like I said, with the branding, it's important, because now I can just mix and blend them, and it works for me, man. Yeah,
definitely, man. I mean, the other question I was going to ask with this is, do you find the two kind of overlapping quite regularly?
Yeah, but it's like now. So, for instance, I'll put myself to a brand as my artist. I'm a fashion influencer. I'm an artist, or anything they post or picture of me, even with the Fashion Over thing I've done, they have to put my name. So I'm good with people putting my name or adding me in it, so that people come into once they click on me, they'll see what I'm about. If they like, I'm good. Like, I've got fans who just like my fashion. I've got fans who just like my music. I'm good with that. So it's not a problem for me. If it's overlapping, then, or if it finds that I've been doing more like the fashion, more than music, the other way around, then it's cool.
Okay, cool. I mean, it's always interesting speaking to people that are involved in a lot of different areas, you know, because I feel there's almost like a natural synesthesia that kind of blends different creative industries over each other. You know, obviously, fashion is so heavily influenced by sort of music, and music is so heavily influenced by fashion as well. There's such a like parallel running there. It's always an interesting thing to dive into. So what we're going to do is we're going to get back onto the conversation of music next, and we are going to jump into a tune. This one is a UK mix by yourself of Little Mama, originally by Young Thug. So, first of all, talk to me about the process of putting this one together.
Alright, so in 2016, I went to Miami with Coast to Coast. Done a show, I won a show over here. Went over there, to the winner's circle. Went over there, to do 2 shows. Ended up being there for 9 weeks. But when I was over there, this is when I've met people like Keed and Duke and YSL Fargo. This is before they're blown up. You know what I mean? I opened up for Gucci, man. I had a woman manager who was just plugging me in. She come to one of the shows and she just kept on plugging me in. So I was making money, doing shows in strip clubs, Loguanas. That's when I opened up for Gucci. All these kind of things was going on. So a relationship was built with that YSL camp. And then when I've come back over here, obviously Thugger's done the tour with Drake, and he's invited us to come true. So I went over there, down there. A lot of the artists, UK artists was really surrounding Drake, but I just kept it real. I got invited by Thugger, so I was there with him. And then we just started just breaking bread, connecting up, and obviously on Instagram, the Young Stoner Life Records, obviously you'll see them in my bio and that, or they repost, they do a lot of things behind the scene, which I don't. With me, I'm different with it. I don't brag and boast about that, because obviously I post and tag them and whatnot, but I'm not really there. I'm not to sound like an ego, but I'm on that's my people's. But I'm on something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, of course.
I'm trying to be on the back of that. You know, but anything works. So on my album, I had YSL Fargo on it. Fargo done the intro on one of the songs on that. I could have made that a big deal, but I didn't. The album still done well. So it's one of them, man. People who don't know, and people connect the dots and they see what's good.
Okay, cool.
A lot of the photographers they use when they come over here is my dog. So it's all connected. You know what I mean?
Nice, man. Yeah, no, I feel definitely in, especially when you're going kind of international, it's all about kind of laying the foundations more than anything else, and building those bridges between not necessarily just the artist, but the groups around the artist. You know, it's building up the links between the camps, as you said, obviously in regards to photography and things like that. There's always links that can be made, and that's what does tend to solidify that sort of international relationship more than anything else. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into this one now, and then we're going to crack on with the interview. It's just gone 17 minutes past 9 here. We are live on Trickstar Radio. It's Breakfast with Kovu, and we're going to get into this one. It's the UK mix of Little Mama, originally by Young Thug. This one is Bate Nate.
Breakfast with CubCamTV.
Trickstar Radio.